Do you know Sabur? Sabur, he comes here to Speaker's Corner sometimes. He's from Aira. He had a few debates in Speaker's Corner with regards to this topic about evolution. Maybe you should go and look it up, because he gives perfectly good example to show that why the theory of evolution and even Darwinism is something which has become a religion now rather than.
Problem in the theory of evolution. I'm just saying, if you look at what science is telling us at the moment, I mean, what seems to be more in face of the data, and you look at the biblical account, metaphorical account, Genesis, you will see that they match perfectly.
Really?
And yes, let me explain why. But I was trying to get to the point, but just listen for a second.
Okay, go on.
So you've got this paradise on Earth, which is the Garden of Eden. And it's interesting because in most of mythology, you've got the Chinese mythology, they're talking about the Garden of Eden.
By the way, the Muslims don't believe it's on Earth. Do you know that?
You don't believe in the
We don't
Garden
believe
of
that
Eden.
Adam and Eve were created on Earth.
Okay, but then it's fine, it's right. But I think, so you basically believe that at the beginning things were better. Do you believe that?
Say again?
The things at the beginning were better?
In what sense?
They were like a paradise on Earth? No? Or you don't believe that?
I don't believe there was paradise on Earth at all. I believe there was an Earth which had maybe less pollution than today, which was perfect in that sense, that there were animals here, there were water, there was plants,
exactly.
and so on.
So reasonably, the Earth at the beginning was much better than what it is now.
Second,
The Earth at the beginning was much
the
better.
Earth, yes.
Yes. And also, if you think about it, I mean, according to the theory of evolution, I know that you don't believe that, but the environment designed the animal. Yeah. For example, so birds are designed for the environment. Monkeys are designed for the environment. Lions are designed to live.
You're gonna make a movie. Yeah. Just 5 minutes, yeah, inshallah.
To survive in savannah and all this sort of stuff. So.
He has to go as well.
So you've got natural, the design basically based on the natural selection and mutation design. So of course now we have to have evolved in a place where we were in perfect harmony with our nature, with the environment. We have to, because otherwise the theory of evolution wouldn't work. We wouldn't have been able to, so the environment must have been the perfect one for us. In the same way, the lion is perfect in his environment, and the monkey in his environment, and the snake in his environment. So there was this Garden of Eden, and at one point, probably one man decided to go against his own conscience. He said, "Oh, okay, I'm done with that," and maybe he left. Sorry, he left the place where it was prospering. So so there was a warm place, there wasn't cold, the air was clean, the water was clean. So he decided to go against it, yeah? So, and left the place of prosperity. So in the same way, Adam and Eve, they left the paradise. So, can you see it's a metaphor? So
in Christianity, they were thrown out.
What we know,
they were thrown out of paradise.
So what we know from the theory of evolution, the first man was in Africa, in a warm place. So he evolved that, and then he spread all the way around. He left Africa and he started encountering other challenges. So he started encountering cold. He started encountering things that he couldn't have survived that.
For example, could it be possible he found another warm place where he settled?
Desert.
Could be possible.
Desert, hurricanes, all this sort of stuff.
No.
They couldn't be. Wait.
You're basically telling me Africa was the only place which was habitable.
Yes.
That was uninhabitable?
Yes. For the human being at the beginning, it must have been in a warm place, because how can...
No, but why are you saying only Africa is habitable? What about the other countries?
No.
The other continents?
They are continents, but the more you go away from Africa, the more it's difficult to survive for a human being.
Why?
It needs to create... Because
what if there is another habitable place elsewhere?
There are, but we know that the first human being started that. I mean,
but that's not what it means. The reason human beings migrate is not because this place is perfectly habitable. Maybe there might be other reasons they are migrating.
Yes. Let me finish the point.
Okay,
so basically, they decided to go against their own conscience. So probably they felt anxious, for example. When you're about to do something wrong, you felt anxious. You don't need anyone else to tell you. Yeah. So basically, they left this place of prosperity. They start encountering challenges. Maybe they start becoming hungry. They didn't have the food that was available. They start killing and doing this, doing that, and maybe they encounter the cold. They start, killing animals to cover themselves, and all this sort of stuff. So things that at the beginning
What's
they
this
didn't
got to
need
do with evolution?
Let me explain, because that's exactly what the theory of evolution is telling us.
What?
The human being was in a one place in Africa, and then he left, he spread all around the world, and he started living in different places in the world. And that's exactly what the Bible is saying. In
Survival
Genesis,
of the fittest.
in Genesis.
Wait. Survival of the fittest
Yes.
is basically the theory of evolution, the main core of it.
I know.
Wait. What has that got to do with Adam and Eve living the paradise?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you, because they were in Africa, in a warm place.
Yes.
So they couldn't face the challenges that, for example, we are now facing the cold. But we could have evolved in a place where there was cold, because we should have fur, for example. So, for example, the polar bear can survive here because he's designed to survive here. We couldn't be evolved here because
You don't need to evolve to face winter.
So, for example, okay, so
You need
so do
all you need to do is
So, do you believe that, for example, one of us,
John, calm down.
Yeah.
Just because you're feeling cold, you don't need to evolve. You could easily kill an animal, take his fur and wear it, at least at that time. Yes, today we got artificial synthetic fur and so on. Yes, look, human beings
Yeah, but
are
you-
quite, wait. Human beings are quite capable of inventing things to make their life easier, and of basically even clothes, which are basic necessity. Basic necessity, they can easily get it. You don't need to evolve into a teddy bear, sorry, a polar bear to control the temperature around you. Look, I think what you have just said might work in theory for you, but when I look at the practicality of it, I do not see any sense or logic in it. But anyway, I think we have had a long discussion. We have gone into
that's
another tangent.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
but I want you.
I just wanted to show you that
you look like a
it's-
person who is logical. You look at your environment. You look at your and you read things, and then you make up your mind. I suggest you do the same thing with looking into Islam, because you see, one day, like I said, we all will die. So whether a person is a believer or disbeliever, we all believe in one fact, that is death. We cannot deny that. We will face death one day. And that is not metaphoric, that's going to be very literal. Yes? On the day of judgment, when you face in front of Allah, and He says to you, when all the options are open to you, when all the information in front of you, yes, clearly stated and showed you that God is only one and not a triune being, yes, and not a person, He can become a human being and so on. Yes, all these things were clear to you, the data was there in front of you. Why did you reject it? I think you have to prepare for an answer for that. But I think since we have already discussed all this, I don't want to revisit all that. But please have a look at the video and then think about it. You know, because at the end of the day, we have got our whole life to think about things. Yes, do not waste it. I will do the same. Yes, I will look at all the different options available to me and then come to a conclusion. Not just look at where I was brought up or how I was brought up as a Muslim, but I looked at it all in a way which is objective in a way. Yes, but why should I follow this particular faith? Why should I follow this particular path? And the one that makes perfect sense to me, and I think you even admitted this, that Islam is logical. You know what God says in the Bible? That He is not the author of confusion. From asking you many questions, it seems like you were confused in many of the core doctrines of your belief. Like even the original, the doctrine of the original sin. But anyway, like I said, we won't revisit this. We have discussed all of this. But all I'm saying is, look into it with an open mind and an open heart. Yes, and I pray that Allah gives you hidayah, gives you guidance, and thank you very much for your time, Jim. Hopefully we'll speak again.